Hi everyone and welcome to this week's webinar. Obviously you've noticed by now probably that I am not Tina, so we are not doing Tina taps into the S5 today, we're doing Ellie taps in. Tina is one of those very clever individuals who took some time off between the two public holidays here in Australia. I was not one of those individuals, but I also feel like I'm one of the most qualified people to talk to you today about selling more with Manage. The reason I say that is that I've had 24 more years experience in the IT sector. I've worked for IT managers. I've been an IT manager, and with my CommBox crew, some of you I can see are on the line now, I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of IT managers as well. So yeah, that kind of leads us into working with Manage, which is very much for IT managers. And we'll talk a bit about some of the other things that we've built as well for IT leaders. So obviously different hosts today, but we've got the same old promotion. If you stay on the line and listen to all the exciting things I have to say, we will be doing a giveaway at the end of it for a 65-inch classic S5. So let's jump straight in. All right, what IT managers actually want. So we've all talked to IT managers before. We know that they are super busy individuals. They are not only managing, hopefully, a suite of CommBox devices, but probably hundreds of laptops, mouses, servers, all sorts. They're also having conversations about cybersecurity. We know that there are cybersecurity incidences happening at least once a week in the education sector and more in the corporate sector as well. So they have several concerns going on in their brains. So they're busy. They want peace of mind. They want control over all of their screens. If you have more than one CommBox, if you're lucky enough, you don't want to have to individually go around and update them. You want to be able to control them all at the same time. They want fewer support tickets. No one loves support tickets. And if you can update or fix a problem or troubleshoot it before it becomes an issue, and you don't have, 5 or 10 people complaining about the same issue, your life's going to be a lot easier, right? They also want easy policy enforcement. So every organization has their own policies around things, and it makes sense to be able to enforce that easily. What they don't want is complicated interfaces. I mean, none of us want that, but particularly IT managers who are working with their screens on a day-to-day basis. And they don't want screens that go rogue. They don't want screens that are updating on their own. They don't want individuals updating their screens either. They want to have full control over them. So that's just a little bit about IT managers. Before I go any further, I want to talk to you about the rock-solid foundations that CommBox has built the classic S5 on. So all of you know by now that we are Google EDLA certified, and what that means is that we've rolled out a number of security patches. Flying Fox had the latest security patches. We'll be doing another rollout towards the end of the year that has more Google security patches in it, which we're very proud of, but we also feel that that's not enough. With the CommBox OS experience, we've hardened the cybersecurity. So that means we've put additional things in there to make it even more secure. And I'll talk about them a little bit later on today. We've gone through Google CASA Tier 3 certification. So that is a lab certification. We've sent our classic S5 off to have additional cloud security penetration testing. And that has come back with flying colors. So we've also done another third-party set of testing, and that's with Trustwave. So Trustwave is a very well-known cybersecurity company, very well respected, and they do some penetration testing for us. So what that means is they test our devices for endpoint vulnerabilities to make sure that you can't have a brute force attack on them as well. So do you need to remember all of these things? No. We've wrapped it all up really nice and tidy in our privacy, security, and networking paper, our white paper that you can download and share with IT managers because they will have questions and hopefully that will answer them. All right, now let's move into CommBox Manage. CommBox Manage is command central. I have a lot of words on this page, but I wanted to take you through all of them because Manage does some really impressive and important things. So it's centralized command. It is able to manage the entire fleet of screens from a single easy-to-use dashboard. So the IT manager installs it on their screen or even just logs into the CommBox Manage website and can administer directly from there on that dashboard. You can also group screens. So if you perhaps have a school that has a number of CommBoxes, you might want a group of devices that is just for the science labs. And you might want to push out particular apps to those. You might have another group that is just for the geography classrooms, and you might want to have different apps for those. So CommBox Manage makes it really easy to group those sets so that you can have different policies or different apps and push them out in bulk actions. All right, remote control and real power. So it gives you full remote access, which means you can troubleshoot and control devices without even leaving your desk. You can log directly into you can remote access directly into the CommBox screen and administer directly from your desk. No more walking around and updating every single one individually. You can also push system updates, reboot screens, shut them down instantly. So there's lots of control that you have directly from your laptop here. You can also set start up and shut down times and enforce power schedules from CommBox Manage. So you're working with your organization's sustainability goals, which is also important to us. And of course, fast and flexible deployment. You can push custom rules, configurations, and policies. Now, the next one makes me a little bit excited in a very nerdy way, and I'm sure, hope you will be too. And that's the import and export settings that you can do through CommBox Experience. So with CommBox Experience, you can go through and set up exactly how you want your CommBox to look. You can then create an image of that or a configuration file, and you can push that out through Manage. So this is one of the really impressive and sort of powerful things that you can do with a combination of CommBox Experience and CommBox Manage. And lastly, proactive communication. So you can push alerts to all of the screens in your network directly from CommBox Manage. So if you've got a fire drill or a lockdown or an evacuation notice, or even just a general announcement to say, hey, happy Easter, hope you have a great time off, you can push that all out through Manage as well. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. And when we talk to IT managers about CommBox Manage, what we are finding is that it lands really well. It lands well, and we are selling more when we talk about CommBox Manage with IT managers. So we haven't just put CommBox Manage in front of IT managers, we have continued to build more as well. And with the CommBox Experience, we've got lots of stuff to show you. I'm going to jump in directly and do a demo with you now. Grab into my launcher. And I've got CommBox Experience already open. You notice it's in dark mode today, so it looks a little different, but I promise you it's still the same. So the first one I'm going to show you is being able to hide the Google Play Store. So IT managers will probably have seen the promo, the classic S5, and go, okay, great, you can download a whole bunch of apps from the Play Store, but I don't necessarily want every single person in my organization to download their individual apps that they want. The IT managers may want to set it up and then hide the Play Store so that no one else can add additional apps. So it's as simple as going into Accounts and Security, and in this section here, we've got the app access. So it's not just the Google Play Store. You can actually switch off any app that you don't want to have on the device simply by hiding it with a toggle. So all I'll do is scroll down to the Play Store. Where are you? There you are. Oh, and I've done it already. But you just switch off that one toggle. You can toggle off a few as well. And once you hit save and exit, you'll not be able to see those apps. So really powerful for IT managers. The next thing I want to show you is pin locking the systems. So again, just over here, it's as simple as adding a pin lock, which I won't do right now because I've already got one on there. But the really important thing about this pin is that it works for CommBox Experience, and we've unified it so that it works for the other settings on the panel, as well as the settings here in our inputs menu. So there's obviously a lot on here that can be changed. And one of the important things around cybersecurity is it's not just threat actors who are trying to steal information. There is cybersecurity when it comes to having one of these devices in a classroom with a group of teenagers. Teenagers are very tech savvy, they're very curious and inquisitive, and IT managers want to have the peace of mind that they're not going to mess with the settings and make it unusable for the next classroom. So setting a pin will clean all of that up to make it nice and safe. And I did mention before that all of these settings can be created. You can then go into export these configuration files, and push it out through Manage to all of the other CommBoxes in your fleet. And of course, that's S5s as well as S4s, S4 pluses. So if you have a mixed fleet, it's pushing them out to all. All right. I might jump back here. All right, so security baked in, not bolted on. At CommBox, we always work with cybersecurity first principles. So we think about cybersecurity before we build anything. It is the most important thing to us. And so it is sprinkled throughout the CommBox. And it's simple things like the swipe down is disabled. So if you have used an Android device before, perhaps a tablet or a phone, you will know that it's really easy to just swipe down and you can get to additional settings. We've disabled that, so that's part of the hardening process that comes in when we overlay CommBox OS Experience. And it means that you're not able to get to those additional pieces. You can, of course, get to them through the settings, which is now pin locked. So yeah, additional security there. We've put more security in when it comes to inputs. So you can see that you can get to lots of inputs here. But if we go over to lock, you can lock individual inputs. So you might want to lock the HDMI ports at the front. You might want to lock the PC at the back. You can also rename them in here so that when you get over to your input section, you might just have a couple of items here that are useful for this particular device. Over here, you can also set the boot channel. So perhaps you want it to open up in Android, or maybe you've got an OPS in here and you want to just have it log into that particular screen each time it loads. So you can do that from the power settings in here as well. What else do I have to show you? And finally, here we go. We've put more security into CommBox Connect as well. So over here in the settings, we've had permission mode for years and years, but what we've added to that as well is our settings lock, which means that you can set up your settings in CommBox Connect, lock that with a pin as well, and that adds additional security to your system. So I've talked at you a lot about a lot of cybersecurity and IT manager talk, but you don't need to remember all of that. You just need to remember the benefits, so not the features. So instead of saying you can push settings remotely, we say you don't have to touch the screen to configure it. Instead of saying you can monitor the device status, you can say if something's wrong, you'll know before the teacher even calls you. That amazing dashboard that we've got for Manage. Instead of saying Manage allows you port control, you can say you decide exactly what the screen can and can't access. And importantly, you can always say, have you seen the privacy, security, and networking white paper? Which is exciting to say over a beer, obviously. And I think that's it for me. So next steps, if you want to book a demo, and 30 minutes of that demo. You'll get a customized demo with recommendations based on your needs. You'll be able to discover the features and capabilities that address your challenges. And you can talk to an expert real time for questions and have any informed decisions. So just scan the QR code here and you're away. And that's it from me. Thank you so much for logging in today. Really appreciate your time and enjoy the rest of it.
We'll just give people a little bit of time if anyone wants to scan the QR code.
Yep, scan that QR code. I'll stand here and smile. You guys do the thing. You know what to do. Thanks so much, guys.